Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And Ghostbusters 2016 has been ignored again.
Uh-oh. Prepare for screaming.
Prepare for screaming. Yeah, the details have been released about the new Ultimate Ghostbusters Collection 4K Blu-ray set. And there are a lot of bonuses and a lot of behind-the-scenes information about the Ghostbusters franchise, but there's one thing that's missing.
What?
Answer the call.
Is it?
They hung up.
Did it have like the animated shows and stuff on it too, or just the movies?
No, but there are a whole lot of behind-the-scenes, featurettes. I thought maybe they could make Answer the Call a featurette, like a bonus feature, buried an Easter egg. I guess it's not even getting that.
Ooh.
So this is not the first time that Ghostbusters has completely ignored the 2016 entry, and we're going to talk about that.
As have fans.
Yeah, right. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 247,000 subs. Thank you for the support. We've been talking about Ghostbusters. We've talked a lot about Ghostbusters Afterlife being a bright spot, I think, this year in pop culture, because we finally got a proper third Ghostbusters movie.
It's a bright spot in pop culture to fans, but the critics and the typical people that you see whining on Twitter are having a meltdown over it.
Yeah, the media is very salty because Ghostbusters 2016 was definitely a catalyst in this trend of the media attacking fans and basically taking fans' toys, whether it's Ghostbusters or Star Wars or video games or whatever, and holding them up and snapping those action figures right in front of you and being like, broke your toys.
What gets me is they keep trying to spin this narrative. It's because it was all women. And that wasn't what the problem was. They keep saying that over and over again because it's mad because it's women. No, it wasn't very good. And most people didn't want it to begin with. They're like, why are we making another one? And it was kind of lame. I mean, you're allowed to like it. I know people who do. But being all female wasn't the big issue here.
No, it was a bad parody. It was an SNL parody of Ghostbusters, and it's not what most fans wanted. I think general audiences were confused, especially the marketing, because they originally marketed it like it was a sequel, and then it was like, oh no, it's a complete reboot. And yeah, we've got all the cast from the original Ghostbusters and cameos, but they're not the same characters.
No. I mean, if they had made a continuation, like a sequel, people might have been like, okay, like they had a reason to be there. Okay. It was just, you're just rebooting the same thing. And for all their complaints about Afterlife being it's a rehash of the original, this one was more so. Yeah.
So I expect screeching now. This hasn't really hit Twitter big time yet.
It will now.
It will now. Yeah, like an hour ago, some other people were talking about it. I see Mike at DRez put this up last night.
Good job, Mike.
So good job, Mike. We'll put the link to that.
The case that comes in is fun. I love that so much. So what's in this collection?
Okay, so we've got Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Making Ghostbusters booklet, a collector's ghost trap box, a case with 2 additional discs, possibly extra features or documentaries.
Well, maybe it's put on one of those.
I seriously doubt it.
It's possible.
I seriously doubt it. I'm not sure what the 2 discs in the 4th case will be. We speculated about them being documentaries, says Mike, but it's too hard to tell due to the low resolution of the image. Each film comes with a second disc, which is probably loaded with extra features. So maybe these are something new. Perhaps the Ultimate Collection will also include the documentary Cleaning Up the Town, Remembering Ghostbusters.
Well, I think people are going to be mad they don't have the animated shows in this one.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother rights issue. And it could be, look, to be objective, it could be a whole nother, that film is in its own little pocket universe as far as the legality goes.
Right, that could be.
Same with the animated series. It's because that was Deke did that, and whoever's got the rights to it now, it's like a totally different thing.
When they did that Thanksgiving thing a few years back, if that was the case, they included the animated stuff on that, but they didn't put 2016 in it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that again. And they haven't taken this tweet down. They got a lot of pushback. This is the official Ghostbusters Twitter account. 2 years ago on Thanksgiving, they're like, we're thankful for our fellow Ghostbusters no matter where they're from. Happy Thanksgiving. And if you look around the image, you'll see the original animated series, Real Ghostbusters. You'll see Extreme Ghostbusters. And you'll see pictures from all of the 2 of the live action movies. Nothing from 2016. And they got called out on Twitter, and they didn't walk it back. They didn't apologize. They didn't put up an edited picture with the 2016 cast. So I think they're treating 2016 like a one-off. Now, here's the thing. This is Sony. This is Sony that just made a shit ton of money off of Spider-Man in the multiverse. It is very possible, and I hope to God it doesn't happen, but it is very possible that because Afterlife did better than expected, that they could go back and be like, okay, now we're going to cross the streams.
But if they did that, people aren't going to like it because it didn't do well the first time.
No.
You know, I can see it if it was something that was really popular. Like, okay, for Sony's, with the Spider-Man, I can see that the argument could be made, they could go back and do some, Andrew Garfield movies or Tobey Maguire movies because people keep asking for that, especially Andrew Garfield knocking his third one.
Yeah.
I can see them doing that because, the money justifies it. But they didn't have that with Ghostbusters. The money did not justify it. People were surprised they made the Afterlife film after the last one.
Yeah, now Afterlife, part of the reason it got greenlit, I think, is the cost. Ghostbusters 2016 was a ridiculously expensive movie, and it didn't make its money back, but Ghostbusters Afterlife already has, but it also cost less than half.
About half.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, wait, they're going to do Ghostbusters. It's going to take place in the middle of nowhere. It's like, oh, okay, because it's cheaper. That explains a lot. But, it worked.
They made it work.
It worked. But yeah, this is definitely going to piss people off. I'm going out to Twitter looking at 2016, and I know we're gonna have some complaints. I just don't think it's hit the media yet because I haven't seen any other news outlets talking about it yet. Again, good job, Mike. But Mike is definitely into horror and all that, so he's keeping tabs. He's a huge Ghostbusters fan.
I'm sorry, this comment. I don't know why whiny middle-aged fanboys, sexist, need to hear this, but making fun of 2016 Ghostbusters film doesn't make you sound edgy and cool. It makes you sound like you're mad that women are funnier than you and you're being paid for it. Hey, guess what? I'm a girl. I thought it sucked. I've been saying it for years. I'm just putting that out there, honey.
So here, wait, what is this? This is, I genuinely hate the exclusion of 2016 from this set 44 minutes ago. People are starting to realize that this is a thing. I keep seeing people argue the quality or canon, but could you imagine if someone did a Halloween box set and left out the ones people think are bad or changed canon? Well, actually, Halloween is weird because they kind of they did. At Halloween, they ignored several of the movies, and some of the movies were just god-awful, like Halloween 3. It wasn't even part of the time. I would leave it out.
This is so disrespectful. Well, no, maybe, here's the idea. Maybe they're just trying to use that timeline. It's a collection for that timeline. And Ghostbusters 2016 isn't in that timeline. So maybe it has more to do with that than it has to do with anything else.
Oh, well, here he answers it. I mean, I don't recall it's not the same timeline ever being a thing, but we ever said before about franchise box sets and movies being left out of them.
Is this the same person?
No, this is,
Oh, they're all blue checks.
They're all blue checks. Blue checks are, okay, bloody disgusting. Yeah, so it feels shitty to me. Oh, I don't know, because look, they've had box sets before that were like, this is the 80s, 90s Batman box set. Okay, and you look at it, it's got the 2 Tim Burton movies and the 2 Joel Schumacher movies in the box set, but they don't have the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. They're in their own, like, Dark Knight trilogy. So
I don't care how much you scream. People aren't going to probably buy it if it had 2016 in it.
No. I mean, if it's a bonus feature, maybe, like, oh, yeah, and by the way, we also made this one. It just tells me, again, that Sony is doubling down on ignoring 2016.
Now the blue checks are going to scream.
It's going to be really interesting. Yeah.
What pisses me off is, especially it comes out of women an awful lot, is that, these men are mad. And it's like, there are a shit ton of women who didn't like it either, okay? And I'm really, really, really tired of these women telling everybody it's all men. Because that's really disrespectful to other women. What happened to, you have to raise other women up. As long as they don't agree with you, then they don't count, right?
Yeah, a little girl who is most likely on the spectrum is the lead in Ghostbusters Afterlife. But, sure, it's just a bunch of misogynists.
Wait, someone's like, is Ghostbusters 2 in canon in Afterlife? I would say no. John, you're wrong.
Yeah, actually...
You are wrong, John.
I will be honest. I thought they decanonized it too, but apparently Jason Reitman has come out and said, no, it's canon, and we have...
They have things in it to show that it is.
Yeah, Ray's Bookshop is one of them, but, the fact is that, the Ecto was given an overhaul, they had different uniforms, but they said that there's actually a story in there that they might, tell if they do a sequel to it as to what happened after Ghostbusters
other people
2.
call them out just as like, well, Ghostbusters 2 canon, Raise a Cult Books is the biggest sign. Yes, sure, but they really don't acknowledge the events in movies at all. Well, what events do they acknowledge? Because that's nothing to do with Gozer. And that's a good point.
Yeah.
This wasn't really... Okay, so they get in their pass handed to him. This wasn't really a conversation about what it would have or should have referenced. The question is whether or not second movie events in canon, a girl. So he gets his butt handed to him. And it's not about that.
Typical blue check fashion, right? I wondered that too. We did our review of Afterlife. I'm like, it was very weird that they don't really bring anything from Ghostbusters 2 up. But then again, you play the Ghostbusters video game, and it's kind of the same story where they're back to their original uniforms, the original Ecto. The only mention of Ghostbusters 2, if I remember correctly, was Vigo. The painting of Vigo is actually in, which breaks canon anyway. You know, in Ghostbusters 2, they painted over the painting of Vigo with slime, and they got the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But in the game, they actually still have the painting of Vigo in the firehouse, and he says weird shit. But that's like the only, because that one actually is a continuation of the Gozer storyline too. You know, so but then that's been overwritten by Afterlife as well. So the video game didn't happen either, obviously.
Right. But I just think it's funny because they're getting mad because it's like, well, they didn't mention Ghostbusters 2. That they did, and they've confirmed that it's still canon. They didn't decanonize Ghostbusters 2. I just think it's funny because the meltdowns that they're going to go through, you still can go buy Ghostbusters, 2016.
Yeah.
It's out there. Go buy it. It's not a big deal. I've had box sets before where different things that I thought should be included weren't included. I had to go buy them separately. It's not a big deal. I just think it's funny that they didn't include it in this, but that's could be because it's from a different timeline.
Yeah. So they're definitely starting to realize this is only like 16 minutes ago. Within the last hour.
16 hours ago.
16 hours ago? Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Anyway, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see all kinds of hit pieces because journos need something to write about.
They just won't let it go, but then they're mad at everybody else. Like you won't let it go. Why? If you don't like it, then don't watch it. Then go watch your other version.
Yep.
There you go.
Just go watch it. Nobody's taking your Blu-rays and your DVDs away. In fact, you can find them very, very cheap at the dollar store.
Yeah. See, you don't. Yeah, I know, right. You just don't like it when it comes that you're the one who's salty and you're the one who's mad, and then people are throwing it back in your face. That maybe you shouldn't be such assholes to begin with, and then when it bounces back on you, you can't get mad.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll put a link to the article, and you can check it out for yourself. Talk to you later.
Bye.